Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. If you're new around here, my name is Aiden, and in today's video we will be taking a look at my top 10 favourite upcoming sneaker releases for October. Hard to believe we're already going into October. It just is what it is. These months are flying by quicker than ever, or at least that's how it feels. But I'm definitely excited to get into this one. There is lots of incredible releases for us to take a look at. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into the video. So no messing about, just getting straight into the list with our very first release, which is the Nike Air Max TW in the black and white colourway, scheduled to be releasing on the 6th of October for a retail price of £145. Now this is actually a brand new silhouette that Nike is actually launching. They did previously release like a white, blue and yellow colourway. I will be honest, I wasn't feeling it, it wasn't for me and I just passed on it. But this black and white colourway, it's been calling my name ever since they actually uploaded it on the Nike app, and I've been watching this shoe ever since. Now I'm not expecting that there's going to be any resale value or any hype whatsoever, but I am fully on my Air Max wave right now. So the fact that it's incorporating some OG aspects with some new technology definitely speaking to me, and this is definitely one I would love to add into the personal collection. Whether it would stay in the collection remains to be seen. Given that it's a brand new shoe, I might completely hate it, but I'm definitely eagerly anticipating to see whether I can get it and especially bring you guys that review. So if you do want to check these out, they will be available on the Nike app. I don't know if there'll be any raffles, they might just be going on to retailers as and when. So do make sure to check out the Nike app. I fully expect there's going to be loads of pairs available, and hopefully in the very near future, you will be seeing a review on the channel. So just moving on swiftly to the next shoe up on our list. This next shoe is also scheduled to be releasing on the 6th of October. So next up we have the Air Jordan 3 in the black and gold colourway, scheduled to be releasing for a retail price of £180. And I will be completely honest, straight away from the outset, I think this shoe is absolutely hideous. Now, the only reason I'm actually including it in this list is because I think a lot of people who are a lot more talented than myself are actually going to be able to work some magic with this one and actually turn this one into a black cement. Now, it does follow a very specific, very interesting colour palette. You know, it does look very similar to the black cements, just with those gold accents, which I just think are absolutely awful. Now this is a women's exclusive release, or there may be exclusive women's sizing, so it may not go all the way up to the bigger men's sizing, but I feel like if you are a customizer, this is a dream, and this is an opportunity for you to be able to make a black cement, albeit with a Jumpman on the heel and not the Nike Air. But apples and oranges, if you can do that and actually make the shoe look better, I think that this would be a really good one to do it with. I do feel like because a lot of people do love the black cement, there might be some people who don't have those that may just get them just to have them. So this shoe very well might actually sell out, and there might actually be some people quite interested in it. But for me personally, as someone who does own the black cement, I just feel like I don't really need it. I just think it's an awful look with that gold accent on it. And I just feel like it makes or cheapens the overall look of the shoe. So I'm very much happy to pass on these, especially at £180. There's no way I'm going anywhere near them. But they are scheduled to be releasing on the Sneakers app. There already are raffles going live. I think I've seen them on End, and I saw them on SNS, I believe, as well. So do make sure to check out all the usual raffle sites. But I do think if you do really want these, hopefully you should be able to get them with relative ease. So just moving on to the next shoe up on our list, which is actually our very first collaboration. Next up we have the Patta New Balance 990 V3, scheduled to be releasing on the 7th of October for a retail price of £230. A very spicy retail price point, but I would definitely say that this is a very, very nice looking shoe. Now this shoe did recently release on the Patta website as well. I'm not sure if it is still available, but those taxes and those import fees, especially if you're ordering them to the UK, are absolutely no joke, and I can't even imagine to think what they would actually be. I think that this for me is a very clean look, especially for the time of year with autumn approaching, or it's pretty much here already. This is definitely one of those shoes you can wear casually with a lot of different outfits. I love what Patta are doing. They're very good at making very nice looking shoes, both whenever they're doing it with Nike or now even with New Balance. So this is very much a shoe that's on my radar. I'm just trying to decide whether I can actually reason with the price point. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that the price point isn't going to be an issue, and if that's you, I'm happy for you, especially with the cost of living the way that it is. But for somebody like myself who buys a lot of shoes, I can't just be spending as much as I want to on every single shoe. So this very much might be one of those ones that I have to begrudgingly pass on. It just is what it is. It's all part of the game. So if you do want to get your hands on these, they should be releasing on the New Balance website, as well as a bunch of different raffles as well. So do make sure to check out the raffles guide on the Soul Suppliers website, because when all the raffles get posted, all the information will be available on there. And I do fully expect that this shoe is definitely going to sell out. So just moving on to the next shoe up on our list, this next one is one specifically for the ladies. So next up we have the women's exclusive Nike Air Max 1 in the ale brown colourway, scheduled to be releasing on the 8th of October for a retail price of £145. Now Air Max 1s are releasing at an incredible rate this year, almost feels like one every single week. And we most recently did do a review of the Obsidian colourway. I actually still have it right here actually. So we recently did a review of these. The review is already up on the channel if you do want to check it out. But the last two Air Max 1 releases have both been for the ladies. I fully respect it. I'm glad they are starting to get some very nice shoes. This is definitely a lot nicer than the ale brown in my opinion. I just feel like there's something a little bit weird about it. I don't really know what that thing is that's really putting me off, because a mostly brown colour I'm absolutely fine with. Maybe it's the shade of brown, maybe it's the colour blocking, but there is something about this shoe that's just not sitting quite right with me. And even though we've picked up a lot of Air Max 1 releases this year, this is one I'm firmly saying I do not want for the personal collection. I'm still going after it for a review for the channel so I can give you guys that look, but it's in terms of how I feel about it personally, I'm more than happy to let these ones go, and it's just not something I need for the personal collection. Now when it comes to the release itself, it's almost apples and oranges. When it comes to Air Max 1s, some sell out and some don't. I'm not expecting that this shoe is going to sell out, and I feel like if you do put the footwork in, you should be able to get it. But I'm no expert. It could very much sell out and people could be mad after them, but I just can't see it personally, and I feel like if you enter the raffles, you try on sneakers, you should definitely be able to get a pair of these. So just moving on to the next shoe up on our list, this next shoe that we are taking a look at is the Air Jordan 3 Winterized, also scheduled to be releasing on the 8th of October for a retail price of £200. Whew, another pretty hefty price point. Now this year we have been pretty blessed when it does actually come to the Jordan 3. We've seen the Cardinals, the Neapolitans, we've seen the Dark Irises, the Fire Reds, and a whole host of other very nice Jordan 3 releases. But like the other Jordan 3 on this list, I'm personally not feeling these as much as I was hoping to. When I heard that they were doing a Jordan 3 Winterized look, kind of like what they did with the Winterized 14s, I was almost hoping it would follow a similar colour palette to what they did with the 14s because I thought they were really nice. There's something putting me off, and I think the thing that is putting me off the most is the fact that they've taken away the elephant print. Maybe that's something to do with the fact that it is winterized and the suede material they would normally use on the elephant print wouldn't necessarily hold up the best, so I can understand it from that point of view. But just from an aesthetics point of view, although I'm a massive fan of the Jordan 3 and it is my favourite Jordan model, or it is my favourite Jordan model I should say, I'm just not feeling these, and I just don't feel like it is something that I have to get, especially again at that £200 price point. I think it's nice enough, and I feel like if you do like the look of it, I'm happy for you. Definitely go ahead and get these. And I do feel like, especially because of the price point of £200, these should actually be readily available. A lot of the time when it does come to Jordan 3s, they are easily accessible. They most of the time sit unless they're an OG, and even then, like we're seeing with the Fire Reds, they are still available now. This is definitely one of those ones that is probably going to be pretty accessible and pretty easy to get. The reason I include it in this list is it's a winterized shoe. A lot of people are going to be looking out for that, so this is very much one of those ones that could sell out, although I don't really expect that it will. So if you want these, it is scheduled to be releasing on Sneakers. It is also scheduled to be available via raffle as well. So get your raffle entries in if you're after a pair, but I do personally feel like if you want these, you should definitely be able to get them. So just moving on to the next shoe up on our list, and this next pair has only just recently been announced. Next up, we have the Air Jordan 12 in the black taxi colourway, scheduled to be releasing on the 15th of October for a retail price of £180. Now, for anyone who tuned into the Sneakers app and we saw like the winter preview with Jordan Brand, this was one of the pairs that was recently announced amongst with some other ones. Now, this for me is a very nice shoe, very fitting for the time of year. I'm a big fan of Jordan 12s, although I've just kind of been pulling away from it more recently, just not wearing them as much as I had been doing previously. But I still feel like this is a super clean colourway for anyone who is a fan of the Jordan 12. That colourway is very clean, very easy to wear, very good to wear this time of year, you know, because it's getting colder outside. You do want that really hard wearing shoe. And the Jordan 12, in terms of just being able to wear it with a lot of outfits, and the fact that it's almost like a Timberland boot. It's almost like all purpose. So I definitely feel like there is definitely a market for this shoe, and a lot of people are going to be eagerly anticipating this one. Probably further afield, more in the US than the UK. But for anyone who is holding it down for the 12, this is probably going to be one of those highly anticipated releases. Now, in terms of the release itself, because it is a Jordan 12 and it's not one of the more popular ones like the 1s, the 4s, or even the 11s, these do tend to sit, and even with OG models like the playoffs earlier this year, they eventually went on sale. So I definitely wouldn't be racing out to get these. I think it's going to be a very easy cop. I think they're going to to be readily available almost everywhere. So if you do want to get your hands on a pair, check out the raffles guide because it'll give you a good listing of where all those, the shoes are going to be releasing. And it should also be releasing on the Sneakers app as well. So if you do want it, I do fully expect you will definitely be able to get it. So just moving on to the next shoe, this next one is actually a restock rather than a first release. So the next shoe that we are taking a look at is the Yeezy 350 V2 in the zebra colorway, scheduled to be restocking again on the 29th of October for a retail price of £200. Now I for one am gassed for these. I've been chasing zebras for years and the last time they dropped, I wasn't able to get them. The resale price has always been pretty high, and it's just been one of those things that's always been slightly out of reach, even though I've been so close to getting them. I've entered raffles, I've asked people to enter for me, and it's just been one of those things where it's always just been slightly out of reach. So I'm a little bit disappointed that I've never had a pair, but the fact that it is restocking, with all the controversy with Adidas and with Kanye, I'm almost expecting like they're going to put more stock out than they usually would do, just to stick it to him a little bit more in terms of their little, beef or the little argument that they've got going on right now. So I'm actually hoping, or I'm quietly hopeful, that I will finally be able to break my duck and finally get a pair of zebras for the collection. In my personal humble opinion, it is the best 350 of all time. It's a top 5 contender for best Yeezy of all time, in my opinion, as well. So this is very much one on the list that I have a few pivotal shoes each month that I am looking to add in, and this is high on the list as one of those shoes that I just have to get.
Shut up and take my money!
So I do fully expect that this shoe is going to sell out. So again, make sure to do all your footwork because this shoe is going to be pretty hard to get. Now, speaking of hard shoes to get, this next one is going to be almost impossible. So the next shoe that we are taking a look at is the Air Jordan 1 Lost and Found, also scheduled to be releasing on the 29th of October for a retail price of £170. Do bear in mind that that retail price point is rumoured. It may be coming in at a slightly higher price point because of everything that comes along with the release itself. Whenever there is a premium release, there's a premium price point to pay. It just kind of is what it is. And as far as premium goes, this shoe is up there as one of the best releases for the entire year. Whether you're a fan of Jordan 1s or not, the heritage, the design, the thought, everything about this shoe, even for someone like me who doesn't like Jordan 1s, I am going all out for these. And again, this is one of the pivotal shoes of the month that I just have to have in the collection. Everything that comes with it, from that really interesting box, like the fact that they've got like a worn box with a different lid, and then you get like the mum and pop's receipt in there, and all the little other elements about it just makes this shoe an absolute must cop for me. You have age detailing on the shoe, like the cracked leather around the actual ankle collar, and the fact that it's a Chicago colorway as well. I mean, who doesn't love these? Who isn't going for these? This is definitely one of the best releases of the entire year. So we're just about closing out this list. We've got a couple of pairs to take a look at, and this next one that we are taking a look at is the Air Max 95 Anatomy, scheduled to be releasing on the 31st of October for a retail price of £170, and this shoe does actually come as part of a pack. Now there has already been 2 previous colourways released, which was the Bone colourway, and then just after that we did see a release of the Flesh colourway, which we did actually review on the channel. Now, quick spoiler alert for anyone who saw that review, I had an absolute nightmare with that shoe, just in terms of like QC faults and just general awfulness with that shoe. But that still hasn't put anything in my mind to say don't get these, because this shoe just looks absolutely incredible. Now, I believe that this third colorway is actually vertebrae inspired, and just the overall look and design of it is giving off very strong Freddy Krueger 95 vibes. So for anyone who missed out on the Freddy's, Ash, I'm talking to you. If you actually want to pick up a shoe that's very similar looking and is actually going to be perfect for autumn, this is definitely a shoe I would highly recommend you consider. It's still a little bit bizarre to me to say a 110 is now 170, but even with the price point, I'm almost hoping that maybe I can get it on sale, maybe I can use a discount code, but I definitely do want to get these for the personal collection. I don't feel like I need the bones. I did return the flesh, and I feel like of the flesh and the vertebrae, these are the 2 best colorways of that pack. So hopefully one day I can get the flesh back and actually have it in the collection. But for the time being, I'm very much looking to add the vertebrae in as soon as possible. Now, like I say, it is rumored to be releasing on the 31st of October. Can't see there being any hype. The other 2 colorways are still readily available now. So again, just make sure you're ready. It should be available on Sneakers. It will also be available via raffle, but don't go crazy for it. Maybe wait on this one as well, because I do think eventually this shoe will go on sale. And last but by no means least, we have our very final release that we are taking a look at, and unfortunately this one doesn't actually have an official release date as yet. So next up we have the Neck Face Nike SB Dunk Low, scheduled to be releasing at some point in October, hopefully, and it is rumoured to be releasing for a retail price of £110. Now I know absolutely nothing about Neck Face or about the design of this shoe, but as soon as I saw it, just look at it, I was absolutely madly intrigued to find out a little bit more about it. Now I do believe that Neck Face is like maybe a tattooist or a graffiti artist or even both, and this isn't actually the first time he's actually collaborated with Nike. I believe he's done some blazers and dunk highs, but this for me, based on the pictures of the other shoes he's done, is far and away the best collaboration he's done with Nike, and especially because it might be releasing around that Halloween period. This is very much one of those shoes that I think is going to fit the bill, and I think especially if you're a dunk collector, these are just going to absolutely fly. The little intricate details, the patchwork, just the design of the shoe itself is just fire to me. And even though I don't collect dunks and I preferably don't really wear dunks, I think as a collector's piece in the collection, this is very much just a shoe that I would like to get my hands on. Now when it comes to the release of dunks, like we've been saying for other releases like Jordan 1s, the hype just isn't what it was a few years ago, and they are starting to be a lot more readily available than ever before. But when it comes to a specific collaboration like this, I'm fully expecting that it is going to sell out. And I fully expect that it's actually going to be reselling for a fair bit of money as well. So if you want these, enter the raffles, be available on Sneakers. There's no confirmed information as to where and when it's actually going to be releasing. So as soon as I get that information, I'll make sure to post it up on the channel, because this one is definitely, again, going to sell out. And just like that, we've wrapped up my top 10 best upcoming releases for the month of October. I will level with you guys, I am a little bit disappointed that there hasn't been any confirmed information from any other source about actual Halloween inspired releases. A lot of the time they tend to come out throughout the month itself, or as we get into October itself. And I'm recording this on the 1st of October, there's nothing been announced, nothing been confirmed as yet, so there's nothing I can really share with you guys. So hopefully at some point in October we will start to see a little bit more Halloween releases, but as soon as I get any information on those, again, I will make sure to post it in the community tab. I'd like to get your guys' opinion on this top 10 list. Which are the pairs are you most looking forward to? Which are the ones you're most happy to pass on? Do let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you have stuck around to this point in the video, as always, I just want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one. Peace.